Hey everyone, Once Bitten here with another battle report. So these are my Beastmen coming out again. This is the same list I've been using, my Doombull Great Brave Shaman list. There's a big tournament coming up locally. I think it's 100 players signed up for it, and most everybody I'm playing is planning on being in the tournament. So we're all practicing our tournament lists. So I'll be using this same list for the next handful of games plus 5 games in the tournament, and then I probably won't touch it again for a long time. So I hope you don't get bored with it until the end of that. Anyway, facing a Dark Elf army, his tournament list, 2,400 points, is a special scenario that doesn't really affect the game too much. Basically, we had a list of advantages we could take, and I chose to take, let's see, one extra dispel die each turn, and I could re-roll one die throughout the course of the game. And my opponent has, let's see, one time he can take a 2d6 roll and not even roll it and just say that it is a 7. And as well, he can re-roll the Winds of Magic or make me re-roll the Winds of Magic once during the game. So other than that, it's just a regular pitch battle. Let's see, he's got it on the far left, a unit of Dark Riders. Got 2 Hydras, unit of Warriors. Inside the unit of Warriors, he's got his Dreadlord General. I really don't remember the build, and in all honesty, I don't remember it because it never really affected a whole lot. So he doesn't have Crown and Command. I know that. He does not have the Pen and Coleth. Anyway, he's got a Coldwind Chariot, and then another unit of Warriors, then another Coldwind Chariot, then a unit of Blackguard, and then some more Dark Riders. He also has 2 spellcasters behind his lines. You can really barely see them. There's one behind the middle Warriors and one behind the Coldwind Chariot, just to the left of the Blackguard. He's got a Battle Standard Bearer. Again, I don't remember his build. It didn't matter. And his 2 spellcasters, one's a level 4 with Dark Magic, and one's a level 2 with Lore of Metal. One of them has a Tome of Fury, and I just don't remember which one it was, and one of them has a scroll. So, anyway, facing him, we've got Harpies on the right, a Tuscarora Chariot, unit of Minotaurs with my Doombull, a Horde of Gore with my Battle Standard Bearer, a Horde of Vestigor with my Great Brave Shaman General. They've got the standard of Discipline, so it gives me Leadership 9. I've got a 20-man unit of Gore with my level 2 Lore of Beasts with the Power Scroll, and then I've got some more Harpies. So we roll off. Oh, this is epic look. There we go. We roll off. He gets Vanguard left, and finally we go to turn 1, and I just move forward as fast as I can. My only concern is I don't want him to be able to get a charge with a ranked up unit and one or 2 Hydras, 1 or 2 Coldwind Chariots, or something like that. Just if I'm going to get in combat with him, I need to make sure I'm steadfast. If I go one-on-one with any of these units, I think I'll win, but I can't take on 2 or 3 of his units. So I pretty much march up as fast as I can, but that's what I'm looking at is on my next turn, I can't get so close that he can just start dual or triple charging me. Here on the right, my Harpies were able to see his Dark Riders. He had vanguarded kind of on the opposite side of that impassable terrain, but he has to stay 1 inch away. I'm less than an inch wide, so I declared the charge and was able to squeeze in there. Here my Minotaurs facing his Blackguard. I really have no intention of getting my Minotaurs in combat with his Blackguard. What I would like to is get my Doombull by himself with the Blackguard. And here on the left, I just take my Harpies way around his flank. And otherwise, we're just staring down them like this. I do like my Bestigors to go against his Hydras. Other than that, yeah. After combat, my Harpies just totally whiffed. I think I killed one of his guys. He killed one of mine on a stand and shoot, and that's even with the hard cover from that big rock. And then he killed a couple in combat. We all stuck around, but now I know that my Harpies are not gonna win that. Here on the left is kind of funny. He took his Dark Riders and swooped them on the outside of my Harpies so he can shoot at me. But it's kind of funny because, well, you'll see. Otherwise, he moves up, as you can see, which really he didn't move up at all. He moved backward, except for his Hydras. They moved up. After combat, yeah, his Dark Riders finished off my Harpies. And, yeah, he shot at these Harpies and missed them. I guess he had a double tap move and skirmish, but nevertheless, didn't kill any, so that was nice. We go to Beastman turn 2. I actually did move up a little bit, but again, I couldn't move up so aggressively that he could easily dual and triple charge me. So I moved up enough that if he charged with everything, he probably gets some charges off, but not all of them, and that's kind of what I need. Here on the left, I just take my harpies and I leapfrogged him backwards and got behind him. Really, I have nothing else for these harpies to do. I mean, I guess they could come up and make sure something didn't charge me, but my thinking here was he can't really get behind me this turn, and so whatever he does, I should be able to charge him. And if he moves out of where I can't see him, he's really just taking himself out of the game, and that's good enough use for my harpies. So over here, I went and took my Doombull out of the unit, moved him over so that I was thinking that his cold one couldn't see me. His Blackguard can. I'd be very happy for his Blackguard to make that charge. I think my Doombull would win it, and if not, at least should hold, and then I could countercharge in the flank with my other Minotaurs. If he charges the other Minotaurs, I think he was very, very unlikely to get it, and I was willing to take that chance. On his turn, by the way, we looked at it, and his cold one indeed could see my Doombull. Once he laid the template down, it was obvious that he could, and I just eyeballed it on my turn. Otherwise, we're moving up, and again, yeah, don't mind him making a charge. I'd really rather him not make multiple charges. Dark Elf turn 2. Things got really interesting at this point. If you look on the upper right, his chariot did make the charge. His Blackguard tried to charge with the chariot, and they failed it. And it's funny because when we rolled for the woods, it was the woods that gives you poison, but it's dangerous terrain, and so he lost, I think, 5 Blackguard, and then his chariot comes in alone. So I was very, very happy with that. I think my Doombull is just going to get an easy victory, get an extra frenzy. Very happy. Here on the left, it was a little bit different. You have to remember what that picture looks like. So basically, one Hydra charged my 20-man Gore unit with my level 2. I failed my terror test and fled. He then charged with his Dark Riders, and then I was very excited because I really should have hit my Bestigor and popped out nice and safely on the other side, but I rolled a 4. And then because I had that special roll where I could re-roll a die, I picked up the 1 that I rolled and rolled it again and rolled a 2. So darn it. So I didn't bounce out through my Bestigor, and the Dark Riders caught me. So my level 2 is gone and 20 Gore are gone. He then redirected both of his Hydras into my Bestigor unit, and then I just decided to flee. He also could have charged his warriors in there and probably had a decent chance of making it, and if he did, this unit was toast. So I figured just to flee with the Hydras. I should get out of range, and I did, and it leaves my battle line just fine. So there is the right side of the board, and now he just brings his Dark Riders up around. If he's going to come around and shoot at my chariot, I'm okay with that. I really don't have a ton of uses for the chariot. I mean, it's always nice, but if I just don't care. And there's my horde over here. And one thing that was really nice is when I fled from the Hydra that I did choose to flee from with my Bestigors, it made both his Hydras have a failed charge towards where my Bestigors ended up, and that brought one of them into line of sight and not very far away from my horde. So he backed up, and it's going to be tough to get either of those middle units. But if I wanted to, I could hit the Blackguard in the flank, or I could swing left and hit the Hydra in the flank. So I thought that was some pretty nice options. During the magic phase, he got Occam's Mind Razor off on the chariot, and that actually really scared me, because the chariot I'm not worried about at its base strength, but once it gets up to leadership 9, which I think whatever it was, that just really scared me. So he came in, he did 3 impact hits, they all wounded. I couldn't armor save him, I don't have a ward save, so he did 3 wounds to the Doombull, and then I got lucky he only rolled a 3, because if he had rolled a 5 or 6, I would have been dead. So then I slapped it around, and so now I have 3 wounds, but I have 2 frenzy markers, and I was able to reform facing the Blackguard, and I'm very, very, very happy about that. So we go to Beastman turn 3, and I charged the Doombull into the Blackguard on the upper right, and if you look at the middle, I took my Horde of Gore into the flank of the Hydra, and I was very, very happy about that. My Bestigor unit rallied with my general, which is all I needed, so they're behind my lines now. It looks like I've lost some of them from whatever, but it just doesn't matter. I reformed this way because 1, the horde was going to be too unwieldy, and 2, this kind of pushed my general up a little bit closer so I could get better leadership. I could get his leadership 9 to the Horde of Gore unit. Otherwise, I just move my Minotaurs up a little bit on the right. And the Harpies tried to charge the Dark Riders. Like, at least I'd have that going for me, and they failed to charge. Darn it. So here's the Horde of Gore going into the flank of the Hydra. That's never easy to do, to kill those things, but, you know, if nothing else, I've got a charge, a flank, 2 banners, 3 ranks. I mean, I should beat it through combat res if nothing else, unless he just does way too many wounds. But I'm base strength 4, so I'll be wounded on 5, so hoping that'll go well. And this one really should go well. He's only strength 4. Anything strength 4 or less, I have no fear with my Doombull. It's a little bit scary because I only have 2 wounds left, but for the most part, I don't care. And then we forgot about the woods being poisoned, and that would have been better because I actually want him to wound me so that I can make more armor saves and get more attacks. So during the magic phase, I cast a spell. I used 4 dice to do it and rolled double 6s, and my general level 4 got sucked into the warp. And remember, my level 2 was already killed, so now I have 0 magic defense against a Dark Elf army with a level 4 and a level 2. So this game just got real interesting real quick. I think the spell I cast was the Amber Spear. That was real risky because I could cast it and his regen, could just negate it all. But anyway, it got through his regen. It only did 2 wounds. That's still kind of nice because when he does his breath attack, now it'll be strength 3 instead of strength 5, and that makes a big difference. Over here, if you look at that Blackguard unit, it is more than half killed. Yeah, these guys against the Doombull are great because they get to re-roll their rolls to hit every round. They wound enough, and then I just armor save all of them and get extra attacks. This time, of course, I also had impact hits, and then of course I always have stomp. So still sitting on 3 wounds, but now I have 3 frenzy markers, and those Blackguard are not going to stand up to the Doombull. That's just a very nice matchup for me. Over here on the left, the way it worked out was kind of weird. I put some wounds on the Hydra, beat it in combat, could not run it down. When I overran, I hit the other Hydra, and it was close, but we both determined that I was in its front. So I wheeled enough so that I could get out of line of sight of his general's unit. So it's kind of weird, and I kind of like the way it worked with this Horde getting way out to the left. And if they can take on the Hydras without other units coming and getting to the fray, that would be my best chance for taking them out. So kind of bummed the other Hydra's still on the table because he'll likely rally and cause me problems later, but again, I can't complain as long as I'm able to take him on one-on-one. So otherwise, we're at Dark Elf turn 3. He's moving his Dark Riders around to pick on my chariot. Other interesting things happened. Yeah, so the Hydra rallied. He only has 2 wounds left, but it's still a Hydra. Interestingly, his chariot tried to charge the flank of my Gore, and that was, again, from here it looked, well, anyway, the warriors couldn't see me from where they were. He's reformed them since then, but the Cold One chariot could, and it charged, and he rolled like a 4, so he failed the charge, and that was nice. I think either way I would have been steadfast, but yeah, I mean, I don't need those extra wounds in there. Here the Dark Riders come around to pick on my chariot. Yeah, this unit I thought was interesting. He pulled his Battle Standard Bearer out, so now his General and his VSB are both in the same unit, which is the one at the very top left of this picture. And then he moved this unit up just to be a sacrificial unit, because I think he figured that there's nothing he could do to stop the Blackguard from dying. And, he just didn't want all my Minotaurs and my Doombull getting into the unit with all his points in it. I don't remember what he attempted on his magic phase, but if he had gotten Occam's off on his Blackguard, that would have spelled the doom of my Doombull. So I don't know if he just hadn't thought about it, or if he didn't want to take the chance of it, or what. He did do, I think it was Pit of Shades on this unit, and took out half of them, I think it was. The good thing is, though, I don't really need the Bestigors anymore. I mean, the way my army list built is I've got 4 units that all have a chance of being really killy, and so I don't need all 4 of them. So if this unit is drawing his fire, I'm actually okay with that. So he puts 3 wounds in my chariot. Like I said, it doesn't really affect anything. I don't really care. We go over here. He was able to wither my guys, so my strength was, I believe, -2, maybe even -3, whatever it is. I'm wounded on 6s, so I wasn't able to kill the Hydra, wasn't able to break it in combat. I might have even lost just because he just did so many wounds on me. The only good news is that's his turn, so I have another turn to deal with him before he can charge in with his chariot and his other Hydra. And over here, yeah, the Doombull smacks around the Blackguard. Uh, I still have 3 wounds. I've got 3 or 4 frenzy markers, and I just reformed him so he's in the flank of that other unit, and we are going to charge in there and just obliterate those guys. So Beastman turn 4. Yeah, so the Doombull and the Minotaurs charge the 1 warrior unit in the upper right. The Bestigor don't charge anything. I might have tried to charge a chariot. I don't think so, though. I think for the most part I was just hanging back. I don't really want to get one-on-one with this general's unit because he's got a general at BSB, and I think he has a good chance of winning it. So I wanted far enough back that he couldn't just charge his general's unit in my Bestigor and therefore get out of the way of all the Minotaurs and everybody else. So I was purposely hanging back with those guys. Here on the left, I went and charged my Harpies into the flank of the Hydra, because quite frankly, I mean, I don't think the Harpies are going to be really any more difficult to wound than the Gore, and so unless he kills all of them, I'll have a charge and a flank, which might help me win this battle through static combat res. And over here, yeah, I don't know if you've played against Minotaurs before, but that is not where you want to be as a Dark Elf warrior. So, million pictures, don't know why. After that fight, yeah, he had 1 guy left. He really did. He really should have done more wounds on my Minotaurs, I think. I don't know, but because yeah, he should have, because he only did 2 wounds on my Minotaurs. That was crazy. Um, yeah. So, yeah, he's hurting there. So he's got 1 remaining warrior. He's going to flee off the table. He's got a couple spellcasters and a Coldwind Chariot. It looks like I've got him all boxed in, but it's his turn next. He's just going to be able to move his guys out of my line of sight. But I can't complain. Here on the left, yeah, we're finally able to do the last wound or 2 off the Hydra, and then we just reformed. I know that he's going to come in with his Hydra, so let's face it and get as many attacks as possible. And if he wants, he's going to be able to come in the back with his Coldwind Chariot, and there's just nothing I can really do about it. So we go to Dark Elf turn 4, and yeah, he dances everything he can out of line of sight of my Minotaurs, charges both these Dark Riders into my Chariot. He's going to win that, and it's, like I said, it's not going to affect much. So my Minotaurs can't see anything. Yeah, this isn't going to be pretty, but the good news is I'll be steadfast, and the way I reformed, he could have charged in to be in base with my BSB, but he didn't. So yeah, he's going to win that. I should be steadfast, and I'm just hoping I do enough wounds that I can kill these guys before they wipe out my unit after several rounds of combat. Over here, he's still picking on my Bestigor, and I'm still letting him. I just don't care. And after combat, it looks like that. I actually intended to get my BSB back to allocate his hits on the Chariot, because I could make way because I wasn't touching the Hydra, and then things were happening so fast that I just didn't do it. And after he rolled his attacks, I didn't want to move him then because it felt like I'd be, abusing a rule. So BSB didn't get to attack. There's no way I wanted him touching the Hydra because I just don't want him dying. So you can see there's 1 more wound on the Hydra. I don't think I did any on the Coldwind Chariot. I was steadfast. The problem is I'm not going to be steadfast for long. The good news is Beastman turn 5, and so I get countercharged. So the Bestigor, who really haven't done anything all game, they come into the rear of the Coldwind Chariot. I could have taken him into the warrior unit, but I just would have lost. I don't think that would have, done anything for me. So very happy with that. I really think I'll win that no matter what, just through combat res. Over here, I just reformed my Minotaurs. I was trying to do it to where he really just couldn't escape me. And over here, the Bestigors never even got to attack. I put the BSB back at the Chariot. He killed it. My Gore took off the remaining wound off the Hydra, and then I just reformed both of them. So again, my thinking is wherever he moves or whatever he does, I want to be able to get a charge in on him. And then I took my Harpies, by the way, up to where he could see his spellcasters. So overall, it looks like that. Dark Elf turn 5. He decided there was nothing really he could do, so he moved to face the Minotaurs and just moved up as far as possible. The thing is, though, it looks like I can get 3 or 4 units charging into him, but it really isn't that simple because all he has to do is flee from a particular charge. Like if I charge with my Minotaurs and he flees, he might hit my Bestigors, bounce out the other side, and then I'm stuck. There's really nothing I can do. So it was kind of dicey, like which units do I charge with and in what order and stuff like that. So I decided to charge in with my Doombull because the angle was different, and if he fled from them, I could charge with my Bestigors and I would have caught him. So he had to stay with my Doombull. I charged with my Bestigors because if he fled from them, he would have bounced through all his spellcasters and everything and gone off the table. And then I just didn't charge with anything else. It looks like he has a good chance of being steadfast, and that would be wrong because yeah, we went in. By the time we were done, he had fewer ranks than my Bestigors had. Broke him in combat and ran him down, and that was we just he didn't even take his turn. I mean, that was the end of the game at that point. So nice showing for the Beastman. Really got scary when I didn't have any magic, but yeah, it really just didn't matter. He did try, by the way, to get Occam's Mind Razor off here. He threw 7 dice at it and did get it, but he did not get Irresistible Force. I threw 4 dice at the Dispel and rolled 2 6s. So if he had gotten that off, I probably just wouldn't have charged him, and then I didn't need to charge him. I would have won the game anyway. So, but that's just him not getting that spell off is just kind of bad luck. But anyway, that was the game. Hope you enjoyed it.